For so many, the Boston Marathon is the culmination of the best of all things, a chance to test themselves, to come together in a citywide celebration for Patriots Day. It literally is just family and fun and that sense of expectation. And then yesterday, it just all turned so wrong. And as we learn more stories about how people experienced these attacks and how they responded, we understand just how resilient the people involved here from all over the country, not just Boston, were. Example, Julie Jeske, North Dakota. She came here, she's an elite runner. She finished before the explosions, yet had to live through this and became part of a community that literally is now like home. Listen to Julie Jeske's story.
I finished about 10 minutes prior to the blast. I had gotten my heat blanket, I'd gotten my medal, and I had just gotten my food. I had to stop for a minute because my leg was starting to cramp. And so I was holding on to two gentlemen, and then all of a sudden I heard a loud boom, and everyone's head turned, and then we heard another boom right away. And by the time we turned our heads, you could see the smoke billowing above the building.
What is your head telling you it is?
You know, I actually, there was another gentleman standing there, and I said, what do you think that was? And he solidified what everyone was thinking. He said, oh, I'm pretty sure that was a bomb.
But now, interesting point. One of the things that helped people get through the situation yesterday, kept casualties low, was poise and calm. Do you think there was a little bit of, it's so out of place, this is such a beautiful event, this is so unexpected, that people didn't panic right away?
We really didn't. I mean, the gentleman who had told me that it's probably a bomb, his spouse must have been behind me, and he said, grab your stuff, we need to get out of here. And so we all kind of just proceeded to the buses to grab our stuff. When I got to the bus line, there weren't a lot of people in line at that point. Within a matter of probably 2 to 3 minutes, there was a lot of people lined up waiting to get their bags. I felt bad for the people that were in the buses. I think they were getting a little flustered. One of the women next to me, they couldn't find her bag, and she kept saying, my husband and my child are at the finish line. My husband and my child are at the finish line, and I don't have a cell phone. And I said, oh, don't worry, I got a cell phone in my bag. So they found my bag. I pulled my cell phone out, but by that time they had knocked down all the towers, so we weren't able to reach her. People
become family in a moment, right? In an instant. Did you see a lot of that? People doing what they could, even if they were tired from the race, to help?
They were helping people. You know, you make fast friends. This woman, like I said, I couldn't help her with my cell phone. I gave her a hug, and I said, I just know your family's going to be fine. I had her husband's cell phone number because we had tried to reach him, and the call didn't go through. Last night, I sent her a text, and I just said, I've been praying for your family. I hope their safety, I hope they're safe. Their safety's been weighing on my mind. She texted me back and said that they're just fine.
From runners helping other runners reconnect with family, to medical staff who were here to treat dehydration and simple things, becoming trauma experts in a moment and literally saving life. The more stories we hear, Aaron, the more this story becomes about the resolve of people here in Boston.
People who, when you don't know how you'll react in those situations, and people react with such heroism. As our coverage of the Boston bombing continues, I do want to make sure that you all are aware of some other big stories that we are watching right now. First, this one, a powerful earthquake, a very big one, has hit southern Iran near the border of Pakistan. 6 people are reported dead, but Iranian state media report that several people may have been killed in Iran. It's very unclear at this point. The numbers could get significantly higher than that. As you know, that part of the world, very difficult to get immediate answers. The 7.8 magnitude quake hit an area where not a lot of people live, at least that we understand. It was felt 500 miles away in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, where buildings shook for 40 seconds or more, and we don't yet know the amount of the damage. Back here at home, the immigration debate is front and center on Capitol Hill. Already, some have weighed in on it in the light of what's happened in Boston, even though no one has any idea whether it was a foreign national or an American involved. A bipartisan group of senators called the Gang of Eight is still pushing its new proposal to reform immigration rules. They were set to formally release the plan today, but it was postponed due to Boston. Among other things, the bill calls for a 13-year path to citizenship for people who entered the United States before last year. Also calls for a quote-unquote secure border. And I also want to show you what happened to the markets. You know, we are up 141 points. That's a bounce back. I want to emphasize what happened yesterday, the biggest one-day drop of the year. A lot of that was due to gold and broader market issues. But after the Boston bombings, the market dropped another 100-plus points. So that was a big part of the plunge. Investors today are, well, I guess there was a little bit of relief that perhaps things could have been much worse, and there was also some positive news in terms of the U.S. economy. Well, it was supposed to be a day of joy and celebration for Massachusetts and for Boston and for people from 50 countries around the world, but it turned into one that will go down in infamy. Coming up, we'll explain exactly how the attack happened with the information that we are gathering minute by minute. It may feel slow to you, but the goal here is to find out who did it and why. The #1 priority in this country. Our special coverage continues after this.